Well.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Knights of Prospect. I am Whitney Hawkins. I will be playing Hazel Pippet on our improvised role-playing game show. So thank you for jazz hands. Yeah, so let's just go around and introduce ourselves and a little bit about our characters, my lovely co-stars.
So my name is Kylie Rolinsick, and I play Ellsworth, otherwise known as Jelly, a mischievous 11-year-old human thief. So I'm an expert with traps and poisons, and well, I'm a little rascal, mischievous, indeed.
My name is Rob Mulligan, and I play a character known as Ronaldo Francis Mackay IV. He is a bard and foppish noble who's currently in a bit of a battle of willpower with his father, who decides whether or not he gets an allowance, and he no longer has his allowance, but it's too stubborn to take the family business on because maybe his father's a little evil. So we don't know. He's just a dad. Who knows?
I am Samantha Levangi. I play Winnie, who is also a bard, and dare she say a better bard than Ronaldo. Winnie is eager. She believes that songs can bring anyone together, and if they don't, then they can tear people apart pretty darn quick. So either way, yeah.
Again, I'm Whitney Hawkins. I play Hazel Pippet, the mountain druid, who is also a halfling. She recently fought as a bear. She wasn't a bear. No, she was a bear. She didn't fight a bear. She was a bear. Fought an evil lady. It was great. Yeah, she's just real excited to be in Tower Town, learning about stuff because she never left the mountain before. Pretty cool. John, who are you?
Sure. My name's John Serpico. I am the game master, which means I play everybody else that has not been previously mentioned. If there is a need for a character, I will be that character. And also, it's my job to make sure that everybody has plenty of stuff to do.
Yeah. Do that stuff.
Mm-hmm. So do we want to remind ourselves what kind of what's been happening lately? What we as I suppose a group of adventurers have been dealing with?
It's been stressful.
Sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a tough time.
Mm.
Yeah.
Emotional.
Last episode was heavy.
Yeah.
Lots of deaths and accidental deaths of our other party members.
Yeah.
And coming back and switching out. There was a badger involved at one point.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a lot.
Don't know where that badger is. We don't know the status of the badger. We know it was dead.
I think it's just in the bog now.
We've all been learning the hard lesson that our actions have actual real world consequences. And it's something we each have to grapple with individually and as a group. Last session was the cumulative effect of a series of not great decisions on the part of some party members. So
Sure.
They were great decisions theatrically.
Yes. At one point, we had multiple parties within one trench coat pretending to be a single person trying to infiltrate the Laughing Companions, and that led to a death.
One thing led to another, and someone died.
Two souls got trapped inside of a gem, and then a dragon helped us get the souls out of the gem.
Yes. Standard fare.
Yeah.
Still unnerving, though. Yeah.
The reason I think that kind of everything you all do has consequences is because you're all in the same place. You're all in Tower Town, this big, beautiful city with all kinds of stuff in it. If you were just wandering the countryside, you could kind of leave those consequences behind. But really, everything you do is really where you live. And so things tend to stick around.
Just to be clear,
Chauncey won the magic fair.
that's true.
Chauncey did win the
They
magic
did
the
fair.
magic fair.
He did.
Chauncey the boy wizard won the magic fair.
That was his dream.
Mm-hmm.
So someone's doing well.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
makes one of them.
I mean, generally speaking, I think you're all doing pretty well. Essentially, all of your goals, you all kind of have individual goals and individual things. You're trying to do. Jelly, you're building your reputation as a thief and a rogue.
That's right.
Winnie, you're building your reputation as a bard.
The
Ronaldo,
best card.
indeed. Ronaldo, you're working through this incredibly complicated family drama. Hazel, you're growing your knowledge of the world and representing your people here in Tower Town. So all of you have stuff going on, and you're doing pretty good. And then all of you as a group are trying to join the famed Knights of Prospect, and you're all really doing a great job here. Like Winnie has been charged with essentially crafting like an epic bardic tale of your exploits to kind of be your resume. So, things are going pretty good, except for the deaths.
Yeah.
Technically, only one death. Sort of. Like
Yeah.
two death. Well, like net one death.
It netted
Net one death.
net
Plus
one
the badger.
Yeah.
Net
So-
one character death. Well, I don't. Yeah, you're fair.
Yeah. All right, so let's get started, shall we? It's been an incredibly kind of busy and emotionally exhausting week in Tower Town. Your companion Vil sacrificed herself to essentially bring your companion Raz and his friend Levin kind of back to life. And also, kind of in the process, Chauncey won the Magic Fair by essentially bringing an archmage, this famous archmage that vanished years ago, back into the world. So, there's a lot going on for kind of all of you as a group, and then in Tower Town as well. Really, the big news is that Archmage Akka, the archmage before the current archmage, is back. It'd be the equivalent of the governor of your state mysteriously vanishing 5 years ago and then just reappearing at a party. So there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
This impacts all of you to some extent. But we'll get to that in a little bit. Jelly, I want to talk to you. You are and have been one of Tower Town's most infamous thieves and most famous adventurers, which is very impressive considering your relatively young age. The thing is, your parents do not know that. Your parents think you traveled to Tower Town for an apprenticeship, and that is going to be a factor today. So because of that, I think we should do a little bit of Mad Libs here. So, Jelly, whatever comes to mind. Of your two parents, who are you closer with, your mother or your father?
Father.
So your father, his name is Langham. Can you describe your father in a sentence?
Well, he's got the build of a string bean and the heart of a great huntsman. But he works in finance.
And he works in finance, indeed. So what is the apprenticeship that your parents think you have?
I think I'm working I'm with a fur trapper. Doing an apprenticeship with a fur trapper.
And what is the name of the fake fur trapper that you invented for this apprenticeship?
Oh, his name Sterling Guap.
Sterling Guap. Awesome. A couple more. Where do your parents think you're staying?
Oh, they think I'm staying at an inn called the Crystal Lake Inn. Pretty close to the site of where Sterling Guap, his sort of workspace is.
Mhm. And that's obviously not true. You're staying somewhere else as a famed thief and adventurer. Where is it you actually stay?
Oh, yes. Well, there's like I built this structure in the woods, and it's sort of out of a lot of kind of just branches, and I've collected some raw materials that were discarded or I took off of structures on the in town, and I brought it to the outskirts, and I constructed this it's like a little hut or a hovel.
Mhm.
And so it's nice and cool right on the dirt.
Mhm. And your birthday is coming up soon. So how old will you be turning?
I'm going to turn 12 because I'm 11 right now.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Jelly, and happy birthday in advance.
Thanks.
Yeah. So the four of you are currently sitting in the Elk Crest farmhouse, which is sort of like your unofficial base of operations. It was a favorite of Vil. Vil worked there and helped maintain it, and a lot of your kind of adventures have in some way involved Elk Crest. So, the four of you are there. Just kind of catching up and processing all of the various things that are on your mind.
Bill really liked it here.
Oh God, yeah, she loved the stew.
Gosh, what good stew.
She loved the stew. It's a beef stew.
Poor Hobie has just been sitting by the bar with his beak in a bowl of God knows what.
We should make sure he's not drowning. I mean, he's a duck.
Yeah.
But we know he doesn't like water.
Right.
Sorry, I can't see all of you. The cat is in the way. Sorry, let me just move it.
Yeah, the Elkrest farmhouse does indeed have plenty of animals kind of roaming to
Really?
and fro, including Hobie the duck, who was Vil's best friend and business partner. And now Hobie is despondent, but he's always near one of you.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey, Hobes. Do you want some beef jerky? I think he really gave you beef jerky. Yeah, got some jerky here. Yeah,
Oh,
jerky.
look at the sadness in his eyes.
Duck jerky. Here you go. It's for you. This is your jerky. Duck jerky. I'm just smushing it. You don't want it. You did come. Just take the jerky. Take the jerky. I put the jerky down. It's like, you can have it when you want.
Yeah, Hobie has clearly lost weight, and his kind of coat has less, or his feathers have less of a luster, but he's always near all of you. Like Hazel, because you live in the Elkrest farmhouse, you have kind of a loft here. He's with you probably most of all, but when he's not with you, he's with someone. You realize that.
At nights and stuff, he's been coming up under the porch with me where I sleep underneath the eaves. And he mostly just sighs. Just like it's a little hard to sleep when someone's just sighing
And
real close to you.
Hazel, you can talk to animals. You can communicate.
Oh,
with
and he knows that. He chooses not to speak to me and instead just sighs.
We should do something for Hobie. We gotta cheer him up. We gotta do something, right?
I was thinking the same thing.
We gotta throw
Maybe-
we can't throw a party. That feels a little gauche, but
Ooh,
Go on
maybe.
the trip.
Oh, like a special cheer up vacation trip.
Yeah.
Cheer up Hobie
Yeah.
vacation trip.
A cheer
Yeah.
up Hobie vacation trip.
A cheer up
cheer
Hobie
up
vacation
Hobie vacation
trip.
Cheer up
trip.
Hobie vacation trip. But cheer
A
up
cheer up
Hobie
Hobie
vacation
vacation
trip.
trip. A cheer up Hobie vacation trip. I look over at Hobie. Huh?
Oh, still a little despondent.
What do? Okay, all right,
Well,
everyone.
we haven't started the trip.
Brainstorm session. What do ducks love? I don't know. He's the only duck I've ever seen.
Ducks.
Well, I don't know what all ducks love, but Hobie loves solving a good mystery.
And
Ooh.
bread.
Bread. Ducks like
Ooh,
mystery
bread.
and bread.
That makes more
Mystery.
sense.
What if there was a mystery?
And doesn't like water.
Doesn't like water. He's not a waterous duck, which is surprising to me.
It's strange for a duck, but that's
Okay.
our Hobie.
Yeah.
What if we had a mystery that had to do with bread?
What if we hid some bread amongst the farmhouse? Or just like
I think-
sprinkled it around.
I think we should think bigger.
Oh,
Hmm.
more bread. No.
I
Even
leave
bigger.
in so Hobie can't hear. We
Yeah.
should have a scavenger hunt across Tower Town.
A so like
All
a
the best
trail
bread
of literal
places.
breadcrumbs to bakeries.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Ooh.
And you know what doctors in this world say, that bread is the most fortuitous. Is that the right word? I was
No, that's how the saying goes. It's
okay.
definitely.
Bread is the most fortuitous
It's
food
the
for a
most
duck.
fortuitous.
It's the most fortuitous.
That's
Yeah.
right. Fortuitous.
All right. Let's take him. Should we take him or lead him to? I know a great bakery in town.
Maybe we lure him with a clue.
Ooh.
We just have to make
Opaque,
sure
I
it's
like.
not too related to VIL because you don't want to bum
Right.
him out along the way.
No.
Yeah.
Okay,
He's
I
a
have-
member of this team just as much as any of us. So we got to make sure he feels okay.
okay. I'm gonna leave him a note tonight. I'll slip it by his. Or Hazel, you leave him a note. If he sleeps by you, we'll draw a little picture leading somewhere, and when he gets there, that's step one of the scavenger hunt.
Step 1.
Step 1. All right. I'm going to
Yeah.
write this note.
And you should write it with your non-dominant hand so we can't guess whose penmanship it is.
Yep. Do ducks speak our language? Do ducks read our language? I'm
Oh, I
learning a
can
lot
write-
about ducks today.
I can write it in duck. It's fine.
Oh, interesting.
Also, Hobie
druid
always
thing.
understood Bill.
Oh, that's true. That duck is so smart. Man, I miss Vil.
Yeah.
Well, it's very weird. Vil's here, but it's not here. It's an adjustment. It's been a weird adjustment.
Yeah.
It has. It definitely has. But doing something nice for Hobie is also to some extent a form of self-care for all of you. You all kind of realize in silence as you're doing this. So you have kind of a note prepared, and you'll kind of drop that on, with Hobie later this evening. Wilma, the caretaker of the Elkcrest farmhouse, kind of looks at you writing this note, and her eyes go wide for a second. She says, "Oh my goodness, sorry, Jelly, I have something for you. I'm so sorry. I should have delivered this to you a week ago." And she runs off, and she comes back, and it is a at this point fairly crumpled note that says Ellsworth, care of Sterling Guap, Tower Town. And
Pretty
so,
fancy note.
yeah, so you open it up, and let me pardon me. Let me tell you what it says. It says, "Dear Ellsworth, I've decided to come to Tower Town for your birthday since it's been so long since you've been home. I suppose that Sterling Guap has kept you busy hunting and trapping. But I will be staying at the Crystal Lake Inn right where you are. Once I get there, I want a tour of the Crystal Lake Inn. I want a tour of Sterling Guap's workshop so that I know that they're not wasting your time.
Oh my gosh.
Hopefully, I can see what you've been working on. I'll see you on your birthday." So, interestingly, this would have been a great letter to get a week ago because your birthday is tomorrow, the same day as this scavenger hunt you are putting together for Hobie. So, there's also that.
Jelly, is everything okay?
No, it's
Who's Sterling Guap?
Who's Sherling Guap?
okay.
Also, it's your birthday? Happy birthday. I didn't
Thank
know.
you.
I would have bought you something.
It's okay. My birthday, it's tomorrow. You still have time. But
Oh, okay.
listen, I've misled a number of family members in order to gain the type of freedom that I really need to be satisfied. So
I have wondered why you appear to be an urchin.
And also, I know exactly how that feels. So it's good to know a little bit more about you because misleading family members is basically my job now.
right, it's a skill set that I've developed out of a need, but now it's just part of who I am. And
I thought
then-
you were raised by raccoons.
I wish,
Mm.
honestly, it's hard because I do love my family, but I couldn't stay there. And so here's my father, coming out of a ghost of my past, essentially. And Guap is supposed to be, oh my God, overseeing a fur trapping apprenticeship that I completely falsified. I'm gonna have to start catching woodland creatures, creating a show of it, like I've been doing this.
Have they ever met this Sterling Guap fellow? Your family?
No, because it doesn't even exist. He's not even real.
Well, then maybe one of us could be Sterling Guap.
One of us has to be Sterling Guap. We just need to rent a fur trapping lodge. We have several things we need to do. We need to rent a fur trapping lodge. We have to trick your parents and throw a duck scavenger hunt. All of those things shouldn't connect because I can sense catastrophe if they do.
But if we put them all together, how practical is that? If we could just and we won't do the trench coat thing. That ended up bad. So whoever's gonna be Guap, you're just gonna be whatever stature you are, as you are. Okay.
What have you
Right.
told them about Guap?
Yeah.
Oh, just sort of a real craftsman, right? Precision, excellence, a kind of a tall, like he feels as though he's taller than he is. Like I really went into detail about something that doesn't exist because I'm just that good at lying.
Sure.
So incredible posture on this fur trapper, and just an ear to the ground. He can tell exactly where every creature prowling in a woodland area of about 100 meters. He can sense it.
Huh.
Who can do that? Who can have that kind of just unbreakable focus that they can through their eyes?
Well, I feel like Hazel's the most qualified, but I'm the second best at lying.
Oh, yeah, I'm not good at lying.
I'm good at being eccentric.
That's
I
true.
agree. I think Winnie is the way to go on this.
That is
Honestly.
true. That is true.
You know what?
This is the role I was born for.
Yes.
I'll draw a little mustache on you.
Yes. And think of this. This person, this character, they are the best at something. They're misunderstood because no one can relate to the skills that they possess. They are a premier, superlatively effective fur trapper. No one gets you. You got things going on behind your eyes that we can't even imagine.
And we can have Hazel. Hazel can be Winnie's like assistant just feeding you information about fur trapping and craftsmanship. I can be a high rolling customer that comes in and is just sort of like, give me your finest crafts, and I'll be amazed about the finest craft. That will be enough. We could use here, right? Wilma, right? Could this be the fur trapping lodge? It's close. It's a farm.
Oh.
We technically do have several fur trappers. Yes, Mr. Pittman, sure.
It's
For everything you have done for me time and again, I'd be more than happy to support this ruse however you'd like.
Oh,
yes.
I
This
feel
is
like a plan is
perfect.
coming together. No criminals are involved except for you, Jelly, right?
Yes. No, it's really just me and then the sort of characters I create in my mind who aren't real. They're not real. So we must be them.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
How can we involve Hobie?
Perfect. That's perfect, Winnie.
That's looking
Okay,
great.
Hobie.
It's looking good. Looking real good.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's it.
I
That's how
think
The first layer didn't really take.
No, you were putting on the
Another one.
epoxy so that now
Yeah.
that we can put on the
with
fake hair.
Spear gum.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's it.
Yep. Good and pointy.
Mm.
Oh,
That's a fur trapper looking fur trapper if I've ever seen a fur trapper.
yeah,
Mhm.
fur trapper's got to have a little fur on that
Yeah,
upper lip. Look at that. That's it. That's exactly how I imagined this figure. This
Yeah.
is perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. Now Hobie. Look at Hobie's eyes.
Hobie. We're not gonna solve a mystery, but we are gonna trick a bunch of idiots.
Yeah, you want to join in a ruse?
Do you want to be part of a ruse, Hobie?
His eyebrows moved.
Mystery, intrigue.
Quack.
Oh.
Hobie, he said yes.
Oh.
It was more of a fine, but it doesn't really translate into.
Sometimes you just, gotta get them to just get there, right? So.
Yeah, and here, Winnie, take this sword. For some reason, it just really looks like you need to have a sword.
You need a sword.
Yeah.
What about we need
Perfect.
a hatchet? You need several weapons, I feel like.
You need a
Just like
hatchet.
holster of hatchets.
You need like a fur cape.
A fur cape. Do we have a fur cape, Wilma?
Oh, what about this?
We have so many.
There we
There's
go.
a whole room full of capes.
And Hobie, you are the key part of this. You are this. What's the person's name again? I'm sorry. Something.
Sterling Wop.
Sterling Guap's.
Sterling Guap, thanks very much.
Oh,
That's it. That's the voice. That's the
Who
voice.
was that?
Sterling Guap, and Hobie, you are going to be Sterling Guap's trapping duck. You are the hunting duck. You hunt. You hunt. He
It's the big
kills.
darn duck in the whole world,
Mm.
if I do say so myself.
You know a little bit of something about that, right?
Here, Hobie, take this tiny hatchet. I don't even know why Wilma has it. It's so small.
Quack.
Oh,
You
that's a
look perfect.
perfect.
And so a plan comes together. You all kind of get a night's sleep on it, and Jelly, you plant yourself outside of the Crystal Lake Inn because that's where your father is going to arrive, according to his letter, somewhere after sometime in the morning. And so the morning does indeed come, and you do indeed see your father in kind of a carriage, and he gets out and he looks you up and down and said, "Ah, Ellsworth, you've grown."
Yeah, Father, I have, with time and the proper nutrients, many things grow.
So you're eating well then?
Yeah. Some stews available at local eateries. Just very above the board kind of diet.
Well, your mother and I would certainly love to hear more about that if you wrote us more.
Oh, well, I'm just so busy with the apprenticeship.
Yeah, so it seems. Well, let me check into this inn of yours, and and then we can go meet this Sterling Guap fellow. I'd like a room right next to yours. What floor is your room on?
Hey, sure, the third floor. It's on the third floor.
Interesting. All right. Yes. Let's head in. And so he walks in, and let's jump back in time about 12 hours to a little pocket flashback. Jelly, how do you convince the owner of the Crystal Lake Inn to pretend as if you live there?
Ooh, I use some connections to the underworld to convince this person that it is in their interest to do so.
Okay, so you're going to threaten a small business owner with underworld retribution.
Of course.
That sounds great. Let's roll. This is going to be a parlay check. It's going to be 2d6 plus your charisma. I'm going to give you also a +1 because you are threatening the vengeance of the underworld. So tell me what you get.
I get altogether 10.
Okay, that's a full success. So let's what's the name of this of the innkeeper of the Crystal Lake Inn?
Sherman Cabana.
Sherman Cabana. And what's someone else just give me Sherman Cabana in a sentence?
Sherman Cabana is a very dour, solemn, but still flamboyantly dressed man.
All right, so about 12 or so hours ago, this exact thing happens. Can I help you, young child in the hat?
Well, let's see, Mr. Sherman Cabana, if you can maybe help me, perhaps.
Are you looking for a room? Because that is the help I generally provide.
Sherman Cabana, I come to you with not so much a request as it is a forcible ask. I need you to pretend as though I have been residing in your quarters, perhaps the third floor, for a number of months now. I need you to cook the books for me in that way, and I need you to vouch for me. And this is something that I think can benefit you, or at least if you do this, it won't not benefit you.
The third floor is my most opulent floor. You want me to pretend as if you, a child of no more than 11 or maybe 12, is staying in some of my most opulent rooms.
That's correct. I have something of a familial loose end that I need to tie off. I need to convince my family of a certain life that I do not lead, but I must convince them of this so I can continue to lead the life I choose. Sherman Cabana, this is a fine establishment, and it is precisely the facade I need my parents to see.
At around this time, because you had planned it that way, famed thief and merchant of violence, Caliban the Swift, who is a personal friend of yours, walks through the front door of the Crystal Lake Inn and kind of leans against the wall while you are saying all of this. The innkeeper looks at Caliban the Swift, looks at you, puts two and two together, and says, "Of course, young Ellsworth. I hope your stay of many months has so far been pleasant."
So far, it has been pleasant. Indeed.
And we cut 12 hours later to you opening up the front door of the Crystal Lake Inn with your father. Porters grab his bags and take them in. And the second the door opens, Mr. Cabana, with arms outstretched, greets you both. "Ah, Young Ellsworth, welcome back to your home, where you have been staying low these many months. This must be your father that you have told me extensively of over the past several weeks, over the many meals that you have in our common area.
Yes, one and the same. Every time I enter or exit or dine, we do make small talk, don't we? And it adds up to big talk. And
Yes.
So this is my father.
I am pardon me. I'm Sherman Cabana. I own this establishment, and your son is a fine young child who works incredibly hard. And I've been told that you would prefer to stay on his floor. That's the 3rd floor. So let's go ahead and get you settled. And so a big show of moving your father's luggage upstairs is done. And your father is well, you know what? Just let's go ahead and roll 2d6 plus your wisdom here. Just a general read on your father.
Let's see. Plus wisdom. I got a 5.
Okay. So how do you think your father is taking all of this? Do you think he's believing this setup or not?
I am concerned that he is not buying it. He's gathering this information, and I have an inkling that he might be onto something, but he doesn't want to come right out and say it yet.
Fair enough. So, you're thinking, it's like, okay, what levers can I pull to really amp this up? Meanwhile, as this is happening, Hazel, you wake up in the Elkcrest farmhouse, expecting Hobie to be in the rafters next to you, and both Hobie and that note you wrote for Hobie are gone.
Uh-oh. Is his tiny hatchet still here?
His tiny hatchet is also gone.
Oh, no. Oh, no, he took a tiny hatchet to the bakery.
Yeah, you kind of developed this plan, but then had to quickly develop another plan.
Oh, I wrote a whole note that said, oh, where the best bread in town is found, there a good friend will be bound. Oh, I made it sound like one of us had been held hostage in a bakery.
Yeah.
Oh, no. And then I gave him a tiny weapon. Oh.
So, I think we kind of have to divide up the duties a little bit here. Some of you need to go chase down Hobie, while others of you need to maintain the charade of convincing Jelly's father that he is, in fact, an apprentice fur trapper.
I feel like I have the least impact on the plan that convinces the fur trapper, so I feel like I have to go chase Hobie.
All right, and I'll just fly solo, improvise the fur trapper. It's fine.
Well, I figured you and Hazel would do it.
I can still be there for the ruse. I had the character all thought up.
I was just going to come in, buy something, and leave, so I'm really the least consequential part of this problem.
All right.
All right. I was kind of rude to Hobie yesterday. Tried to give him beef jerky, forgetting they like bread. Ugh, ducks, right?
Indeed. All right. So, Ronaldo, the note was for Hobie to find the best bakery in town.
Okay.
So I need you to roll 2d6 plus your wisdom, because I need you to think as a duck would think about what the best bakery in town would be.
May I use my ability A Port in the Storm? I know it says every time I visit a civilized place, I can tell you how it's changed. what was the fanciest bakery I went to last in Tower Town?
Yeah, I'll allow
'Cause
that.
at first, Ronaldo not thinking like a duck, but he's gonna pivot. He's gonna be like, "This is the best one," but is it the best one that a duck would think is the best one?
So, in your mind, the best bakeries in Tower Town were the ones that catered the Mackay family parties, and the kind of the various balls and masquerades that you attended to.
A golden bun, that's a good one.
But then you think more, and you realize, wait a minute, a duck would care not for fondant. A duck wants a good working class bakery.
Good,
and
solid.
Then one immediately pops to mind.
Jeff's croissants.
And so you take off like a shot towards Jeff's croissants. Meanwhile, Hazel and Winnie, you are kind of set up at the Elkcrest farmhouse as Jelly and a man you've never seen before, that is presumably his father, come walking in. So now you're telling me, Ellsworth, that this is where you do most of your work.
Yes, this is where we bring most of our trappings, and we sort of divvy up the fur into various throws and capes and drapes, and you know what I mean. So yeah, this is our workspace, and it's kind of it's who I am, Dad, the father. Father, Dad,
and who here is your the craftsman you're serving under?
Oh, sure. Well, over here you see the gentleman with the distinguished facial hair, a Mr. Guap. If you would like to, he doesn't really shake hands. If you stare, he does a 10-second unblinking stare. That's his form of a greeting.
Oh,
all right.
Well,
All right, 4 more seconds. Almost there. 1. Good.
Oh, I didn't know there was such pageantry to fur trapping. Mr.
You
Guap,
have a lot to learn, don't you?
Well, so does my son as well. Please tell me and be honest. How has young Ellsworth been doing training up in the ways of fur trapping?
Ellsworth? Well, I do have to tell you, Ellsworth here has been the best apprentice I've ever had.
No kidding.
Hard worker, that one.
I love it. When you love what you do, it's not hard to do.
Really good at skinning a rabbit.
Can I see it?
Talent.
Can I see if this is what Ellsworth is good at? I would love to see it.
Oh, bonjour. I am La Fontaine, Mr. Guap's assistant. Enchanté.
I know what to do.
All right, 6 more seconds. 2, 1. You're good. You're good.
That was lovely.
Part of the pomp and circumstance of fur trapping.
And you humble assistant, is what Mr. Guap says about my son true?
Oh, oui, indeed. Jelly is our best apprentice.
Wow, interesting. Well, if that's the case, would it be all right if I accompanied you all on a trapping?
That's a good idea.
Well, sure.
You sure could. We need somebody to gut a deer. Is that in your wheelhouse?
If I'm anything like my son, I'm a quick study.
All right, as long as you have a strong stomach.
All right, I just want you, forewarned, to know that I teach the blind kill. And that means that everyone else but the killer has to close their eyes during the killing. Elsewise, you intimidate your prey too much.
It releases a hormone that makes the skin bad.
Exactly.
And fur trapping is, if nothing else, it's about keeping the skin good.
Well, this all sounds wonderful. I cannot wait. Let us be blindfolded in the tradition. Okay, and we switch to Ronaldo. You are sprinting towards a croissant shop, and as you are approaching, like you round a corner, and the first thing you see is a loaf of crusty bread smashing through a closed window and rolling out into the street.
Oh my gosh! Hobie, no! And I burst in immediately.
You kick down the door. It
Chaos
is
in here!
It is insanity in here. Ronaldo, describe what you're seeing.
There's bread. Every flour, it looks like a flour bag exploded. There's bread everywhere. There's bread stuck to the ceiling. Some of it's wet, probably because Hobie licked it and then threw it. There's people cowering in the corner. The baker is trying to throw bread to get Hobie to go away, but Hobie's catching it and throwing it back.
No, please. I'm a humble croissantier.
Hobie!
I don't know.
Hobie! What are you doing?
Hobie, turns around, tiny blade in hand, looking at you with wild duck eyes.
I'm really impressed you can hold that in your wing. I'm really impressed you can hold that in your wing. But hey, Hobie, come on.
He drops the note at your feet and kind of points to it.
I know what the note says, Hobie. We were trying to throw a.
In the middle of that sentence, the front door opens again, and a pair of silver helmets. Those are the magical constables of Tower Town.
Oh, good
kind
God.
of barge in with wands. All right. Hold on. Everyone, just stay quiet. And kind of with a flick of the wrist, there's kind of this electric kind of spark that runs through the air. And bread that was mid-flight kind of suspends mid-flight. Ronaldo, it feels suddenly like you're moving through sand. Hobie is kind of slowly falling to the ground.
I'm going to try to move as quickly as magically possible to catch Hobie and try and grab him to hopefully dodge the authorities, I guess.
Okay. So let's go ahead and roll. This is going to be a strength check here because you're kind of physically fighting against a magical slow spell.
Ooh, do any pluses or minuses?
No, it's going to be flat.
12.
Okay. Not too bad.
Hobie?
So mercifully, you're able to kind of leap through the air, kind of grab Hobie as he's falling.
Tuck and roll, Hobes! Tuck and roll!
You tuck and roll, and kind of slowly stand back up. The two silver helmets, kind of with wands out, kind of look at you and look at the duck. Sir, is this your duck?
Yes, this is my duck. And I want to try and grab the closest bag of intact flour and spread it in the air, having the slow spell sort of create this fog cloud that they can't see through, and then hopefully duck out the back.
That sounds perfect. 2d6. Actually, this is going to be a defy danger roll.
Okay.
So, and you are defying it definitely with I'm going to call that intelligence because that's a smart plan. I'm also going to give you a +1 because that's a fun plan. So, 2d6 +1. Tell me how you do.
7.
Okay. So, I'm going to give you 2 options. Option 1, this bakery is not destroyed by magical police. Option 2, you make it out the back.
Make it out the back.
You make it out the back. So you book it out the back, like there's a big cloud of flour that is now kind of filling the air because the slow spell is all still in effect.
Hobie, we gotta run. Flour is actually surprisingly explosive. We gotta go.
Yeah, and then you start slowly running.
Literally in slow motion.
You're like, literally, this is real speed. And the flour is going. The silver helmets, kind of fire a what would have been like a kind of a shocks, like a light shock spell. But unfortunately, as noted, the flour kind of catches and there's like a puff of smoke. And the day's croissants are ruined. But that is not a problem you have to deal with now. So you're kind of booking it and, you're running slow. And then all of a sudden you get out of the bakery and you start running real fast. And that's really weird. And anyway, let's cut back. Which one of all of you in the woods is not blindfolded? Okay, so let's see here. Sterling Guap, you are leading 3 people blindfolded through the woods trying to find kind of an animal to hunt. How exactly are you doing all of this?
Right, Hazel?
La Fontaine.
Sorry, La Fontaine. If I were to say, ask you to ask an animal to play dead, is that something you could do?
Oh, yeah, I can call a possum. They're great actors.
All right.
All right, I left my dad over by that bush. Do you have a plan?
Yeah. Hazel,
La Fontaine.
La Fontaine.
Yeah, Fontaine.
Yeah, he's gonna ask a possum to play dead.
Perfect.
Ellsworth, is there any way I could be helping?
Just keep counting the berries on that bush.
What you should do is you should slowly hum, because if you hum, it'll attract the animals. Like a hum. So just do that over and over.
Yeah.
And so, Jelly, your father is humming in a bush. Hazel, you need to find a possum. Let's just go ahead and roll 2d6 plus your charisma. Plus 1 because, you've worked with possums a lot and they are very good actors.
They're excellent actors. Oh no. It's a 6.
Okay, that's a failure. The good news is you do find a possum. The bad news is that he is a jackass.
A real Edward Norton type.
Very kind of like an Edward Norton of possums. Okay, I'll help you, but I have notes.
All right. Okay. You already have notes?
Well, I have a feeling I'm seeing people blindfolded. I'm seeing someone with a knife. I have a feeling this is going to be a death scene of some kind for me.
Well, yeah. You're a possum. That's usually your go-to, right?
Uh-huh. But most possums, they will turtle up and do nothing and play dead. But I don't want to play dead. I want to live dead, damn it.
Oh, God.
Let me monologue.
All right. So you want to have a monologue before you die?
I do.
All right. Okay. You get 2 minutes.
All right. Are we good with the possum? I left my dad over by
Almost. He has notes.
What?
He's a piece of work. All right.
Are you kidding me?
We're taking what we can get. All right.
Did you do an open casting call? Is this all we have?
This
What is the machine?
Oh, and one other thing. I don't want to be caught in a trap because only foolish possums are caught in traps. I want to be caught because I lost a battle of wits.
Oh yeah, no, that's what we're doing here.
Yeah. That's exactly our method. Is using your intelligence.
Riddles.
Yeah, you riddle the possum to Jelly. Can you riddle the possum to death, to fake death, and
Sure.
let the possum monologue before they die?
So pose a incredible riddle question. Just
Yeah.
really put.
Mhm.
Okay,
All right,
so
and then he's going to monologue for 2 minutes as he dies.
so the stage is set. Jelly, your father, is still humming, but then you tell him to quiet, and all of a sudden, Jelly and Winnie, you hear Hazel. You hear, ah, yes, the life of a possum. Me going forth to feed my family. I am a working possum with working possum things to do. What ho! It appears to be a convening of some kind.
Derivative.
So
And then the
gauche.
possum looks at Hazel and then at Jelly.
Oh, Jelly, you're up.
From whence you came, you shall not return, and yet nothing will ever taste as sweet as the bread which you were born in the baking of.
The possum ponders with big, wide, mirrory eyes. Oh, the journeys I've had. Oh, the things I have learned. One would think that a riddle so poetic would not doom me. But alas, it has. And the possum kind of throws its arms up in the air and kind of spirals and hits the ground. To Jelly and Winnie, what you hear next is about 2 uninterrupted minutes of Hazel. What you hear for 2 minutes is some of the sorriest, most emotionally overwrought prose you've ever heard in your life. This is bad. This is bad. He clearly wrote this down and was waiting for a reason to use it. It felt very shoehorned and forced.
Oh, boy.
And eventually it stops. Ha!
All right, he's done.
Father, look upon our prey.
He takes off his mask and looks. Oh, my heavens! You did it! You caught a possum!
Yes.
And now you have to skin it? Do you have to skin it while it's fresh?
Oh no, there's a common misconception of our work. In fact, you have to let the skin over the course of 48 hours slowly slide off the possum. Little known fact, a dead thing will only keep its skin for 48 hours until it sloughs off on its own.
Sloughs off.
Yep.
Like this.
All right, so just to make sure I understand, Ellsworth, the thing you're learning how to do
Yes.
is to just be adjacent to a dead animal for 2 days while nature takes its course?
Ellsworth, do you want to explain the finer elements of our skinning process?
Oh, merde. You did it now. How dare you, sir?
How dare you belittle a pursuit that I have given my life to, a noble and righteous contribution to the greater society. We sit with our prey, and it is an extensive spiritual process with many tiny ritualistic tools involved. And I am so hurt that you would say that to me, Father. Belittle my life, Father, my life.
Well,
I did this to be a good member of society.
Well, that wasn't my intention. That wasn't my intention at all. I just wanted to support you because when you left home, I wanted to make sure that you were gonna do right by yourself. I've been taking out books and reading about fur trapping, and everything in there is apparently wrong. Because they're talking about knives, and they're talking about removing skin and scales. Apparently none of that is true, which means I'm a bad father for not investing enough time in my son's passion.
Mister, if I may, you care a lot about your son. That much is clear. Now, Ellsworth here is the finest at what they do. They are studied, they are measured, and you won't find work the likes of what they do in any other town. Common fur trapping is for the lesser fur trappers. This one, something special. It's like they practically steal the skin off these animals. The animals don't even hardly know it. That's how good they are.
Takes a special skill. Takes a special skill.
I think I understand. I guess I just wish you'd write more. Tell me what you're learning as you're learning it, so that I don't have to cram for a test that I failed when I got here.
You know what I want to say as well? I'll let you in on a little trade secret. Here, we don't refer to fur trapping as fur trapping. We refer to it as thieving. I think Ellsworth here hasn't been telling you what they've been doing because we haven't let him use the lingo. Ellsworth, I hereby give you permission to tell your dad about your thieving.
Dad.
Yes, Ellsworth?
I've been up to a lot of thieving. See?
Do you enjoy thieving, son?
Oh, do I ever. The way the wind catches my ear canals as I run through the night, and I take my destiny. I thieve it up. And it's an infinite adventure. It's a never-ending story, Dad. And I need to follow my story.
My son's a thief, and I'm proud he is. At roughly this moment, maybe about 50 feet away, sprinting out of Tower Town into the deep woods, is a flower-covered Ronaldo, immediately followed by a flower-covered Hobie, flying with a knife and a letter in his beak.
Okay, Holmes, just duck. Come on, let's hide over here. Hide. Okay, come on. All right, we'll hide in this little ditch area. I don't know. I know Vil would have known what it's actually called, but it's a ditch.
Right.
Hey, I miss her too, dude.
Right.
And I try to give him a little duck hug. You don't have to be okay with this right now, but
he takes a step back and kind of walks to your side and pops his beak into one of your pockets and pulls out a little bit of beef jerky and starts chewing on it.
I didn't think you actually. You do like beef jerky. You were just. I was being rude. Sometimes when I get upset, I try and force my will on other people to try and gain some control back. We all kind of grieve in our own ways. You destroy bakeries. I exert control. We're not that different, right?
All right.
I pat him on the head. Let's hang here till I guess the magic police stop hunting us.
And you do. The next couple of days are downright pleasant. Well, for Jelly and his father at minimum. Langham insists on taking Sterling and LaFontaine out to dinner at the Crystal Lake Inn, and a whole spectacle of good meals are eaten. You kind of give the tour of Tower Town.
We share some pipe leaf.
Yeah, apparently, Jelly's dad is pretty cool.
Some halfling pipe leaf.
Yeah.
Everybody loves it.
Yeah, apparently he hadn't had any halfling pipe leaf for a couple of years or a couple of decades, but he starts pontificating about home and what it's like to work in business. And
He makes so much beef jerky.
pounds of it, really. And the visit ultimately ends up being a real nice one. And a couple days go by, and as your father is loading back up into his carriage, Jelly looks at you and says, "Seems like you have quite a good life here for yourself. I'm very proud of you and all of the thieving you do."
Wow. Thanks, Father. I didn't know I needed to hear that.
Oh, I almost forgot. This is something that your mother, I didn't give it to you on your birthday because we were out hunting and I forgot, but here you go. It's just a little something from your mother and I.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a very small beginner's lock-picking set. I've been told that it's that kind of hobby is very good for developing hand-eye coordination, and it comes with its own lock that you can pick again and again.
I think I'll have fun with this. I don't think you know how well you know me after all.
Well, just write home more so that we keep getting to know you, okay, son?
Okay, I'm gonna write home.
All right. Well, I'll see you soon, and good work.
Thanks, Father.
All right. And we're going to end it right there.
So sweet.
Yeah. Sometimes these are charming and not heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. The little hatchet.
I just like the image of him holding it in his wing. Just
Yeah.
I want to paint a picture of Hobie with a hatchet.
So sweet. Hatchet.
Just a duck in the deepest and saddest mourning gets a mission, and he's so excited. Perhaps too excited.
I genuinely forgot. I was like, oh yeah, we're combining the plans. And he's gone, and I'm like, oh, whoops.
Jeez, he got to it early.
Oh god, it's so good. I love the possum. The possum is such a man.
Sushi possum.
When you're dealing with an equity possum, it's just, there's so many things.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah, that was motherless Brooklyn possum.
Yeah, it was
that
a motherless
right.
Brooklyn possum. Just a lot, just a real juicy roll, you know.
Yeah.
Really chewed the scenery.
Mhm.
Oh man.
Well, speaking of chewing the scenery, thank you at home or wherever you are for watching us chew up the scenery of Tower Town. We are Knights of Prospect. You could find us on 2MB Studios every Saturday night at 8 o'clock. That is, of course, not the only thing you could find on 2MB Studios. There is tremendous shows all the time, all 7 days a week, I believe, at this point. There is a great calendar on 2MB Studios. You can check out all the different kinds of awesome comedy shows and talk shows and game shows that they have. If you like Knights of Prospect and want to learn more about us, go to our YouTube channel. If you look up Knights of Prospect, we are right there. And you can see all of our archived episodes, all of our kind of first season, and learn about the backstory of all of these adventurers. Every week we have different adventurers and different adventures. So hopefully we'll see you here again. But until then, good night and happy adventuring.